Welcome back, everybody, once again to another Silver Screen and Chill. My name is Matt.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Ian.
And this week we're talking about the season finale that happened just the other day. The finale to Better Call Saul Season 2. This is a really good season.
It was a really good season. I really loved how you dug deeper into Mike's story, a lot deeper into Mike's story this season.
I think you could argue this was Mike's season.
Yeah, it was
definitely.
It was truly felt half and half this year, opposed to more 70-30 the year before.
It was a good balance.
Yeah,
it was definitely a good balance.
It's definitely a good way.
I think they're doing this so that we don't have to get another another prequel, a Mike prequel, or
why don't they do? You don't get all those Reddit comments. Why don't they do the Mike prequel now?
yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, this season was really good. The season finale, which was last night for us, whenever this airs, but it was really good. Very intense. The scene with the scene with Chuck in when he's in the
Jimmy, in his
No, when he's like tied down when he first goes to the hospital.
That huge, really long take of him just like getting operated on, not operated on, but like everything done to him at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a really good.
You felt pain. I felt pain. I felt horrible during that scene.
Yeah, and I think the beauty in using that one take, like it being just one solid take for that, was really great because it not cutting to any other angle, you feel kind of stuck with Chuck. You feel like he's not moving, you can't move.
Yeah,
camera's not moving.
That's the most clever use of a torture scene I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not really getting tortured, but he thinks he is.
And he's getting unconventionally tortured.
Yeah.
Well, you feel like he does have a mental illness that makes him feel this way.
He definitely does.
Yeah. He definitely has it to a degree.
He's sick in some way.
Yeah. If he was really allergic to electricity, he'd just die because there's everywhere. Yeah. There's telephone poles by his house. Yeah. You know? So.
But I think what Daniel was getting to is the very first scene where I think that like tricks you as well. It's like you see Jimmy in the hospital, but then she passes by and it's Jimmy and Chuck because it's their mom.
The cold opening they did.
That was really
their mom.
That was great.
That was a really good scene too.
And I think another thing they've done this season is kind of give you more a deeper look into why Chuck has this sort of disdain for Jimmy.
Yeah.
He thinks he stole from his dad all the time. Which he did, but if you look at it, it was because Jimmy in the scene in that episode where Jimmy took the guy's money while Jimmy's dad was getting him stuff. I think it wasn't so much he stole the money for himself. It was because it would prove that he was right and that his dad shouldn't be such a nice guy. I think I took it as more as Jimmy doesn't want his dad to be hurt. He wants to have his dad keep his faith in people.
So he'll steal money from him.
It was seen as that guy getting the money that his dad was going to give. Oh. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying like because he bought the cigarettes, right? And obviously it would show that Jimmy made a sale for cigarettes. That's why he has it in there at first. But when he sees his dad's like, oh, did he leave? Like he's all willing to help and still like eager to be a good person. Jimmy can't take it. Like it kind of, you can see it like hurts Jimmy on the inside to think like this guy totally. If I just take it out, my dad won't try and maybe figure it out. I'll just take the money.
You know what I really liked about this show this season is all the characters. None of them were good or bad. Everybody was super flawed. Everyone was like kind of a shitty person. You know, Chuck's a piece of shit, and he is. I mean, you can say he's a good lawyer and he's just upset at Jimmy, but like he sucks.
You could blame Chuck for a lot of what Jimmy does now, and because at one point in the show you felt that Jimmy could have turned a corner if he got that job at HHM with Chuck's blessing. Like this was playing into earlier in the season and last season. If he would have gotten Chuck's blessing and worked at HHM, there's no Better Call Saul.
Well, his whole life could have been different.
Yeah, his whole life could have been different.
But then again, it's Jimmy's fault because he shouldn't have been stealing and causing all that mischief when he was a kid. That tainted his Chuck's perspective of him. But then you can't like be totally like gung ho like, oh yeah, Jimmy's a really good guy, because he's really not. I mean, okay, like what he did to Chuck with the tampering of the letters and the numbers, like whoa, that was really big. Like that was really messed up. I know he didn't like him, but
that was complex as hell.
Yeah, and he knew Chuck knew everything.
I think what it is Jimmy is a nice guy. Personality-wise, like talking to people socially, a nice guy, and he just does crooked things which he thinks is good in his mind, in his set of morals.
He means well.
He means well, and I think that's that's another reason like that brings up Chuck's dislike for him is that Chuck sees himself as this really good guy who doesn't get any recognition, but all he kind of sees is Jimmy's wrongdoings and that everybody likes Jimmy still. So Jimmy does bad and he gets everyone's attention, and then he was even his mother's last words were calling for Jimmy, and he didn't even tell him. Chuck didn't tell him.
That's how it always is, though. Like the kid that I mean, we've seen it in a bunch of shows and movies, and it's true. Like usually when you have that kind of a strained relationship with a parent, it's always like the bad kid, the kid who is like most lost, that the parent was probably worried about, so they like love them more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's unintentional, but.
It's almost because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you have to pay attention. You have to put more effort into a child that's causing you more problems because they're causing problems. So you need to try to fix them.
Because you're most worried about them and not so much...
Chuck was able to take care of himself. Like, I believe I watched Talking Saul afterwards, too. They talk about how I wasn't really realized, but Chuck went to college early. He got into law school all early, and he got everything done. So he was obviously had all of his ducks in a row, was ready to take care of the family. So they didn't need to pay attention to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But with me, for Chuck, the whole brother dynamic really hits me hard because, I have close relationships with my brothers and stuff like that. Yeah. So I really just hate him for being a piece of shit. Like, I know Jimmy's a piece of shit, like, and I get it, but the whole betraying him and just coming after him so hard and not looking for any forgiveness really makes Chuck a very good villain for me.
No,
personally.
Like, he's doing a lot of despicable things. Like, the last thing we see is him recording. He catches Jimmy on tape confessing to the felony, and he's trying to put him in jail.
Yeah.
He's trying to put him in jail because he's going to go to jail for that. You know what I mean? Well, maybe not. Maybe in the next season he'll just hold it over his head till he leaves. But to me, it seems like he's trying to put him in jail.
One crappy theory, I just kind of put this together on the car ride over, was that maybe he gets him disbarred as Jimmy McGill, and this is where we see Saul Goodman come into play.
That's definitely what they're leading up to.
That's what's gonna go on.
He'll become Saul at the end of next season or sometime.
Yeah, because I think that he's gonna use that to get him disbarred, and that's gonna drive Jimmy and Kim to split up their practices because she can't be associated with them after that.
They'll go their separate ways.
Yeah,
because none of these people besides Mike are in Breaking Bad, so we know it's not going to end well for just about anybody.
Yeah.
Or if not even, it's just they're going to have to be cut out of his life completely.
Yeah, just go separate
which is
ways.
so sad because if we can, with all the chemistry Kim and Jimmy have, like I love watching them on screen together. Like they work off really well. I like their characters. I like their love story. Like it's not corny at all. It's real.
It's very good.
It's very
real. This season
real.
did a really good job at building up that story because you kind of get a hint of it in the first season where it's like, okay, they're close friends, but in this season their romantic relationship kind of escalates a little bit.
For some reason, I would have never predicted they'd end up together. I thought he was always going to be chasing her. And I never, for some reason, that's probably good writing, but I never even expected him to get with her.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I totally thought he was going to always be chasing after her, and she would kind of hint, maybe another time.
We've all been a part. We've all been a part of that.
Yeah, everybody.
You assume Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould have, so they would have done the same thing.
But it works out for him, and then you see, like we were talking about earlier, everyone has their own bad things they do. They see she's willing to go along with his like sort of scheming shenanigans, and it's kind of like what they do together as like a couple. It's like let's go scam.
She's almost like the most perfect character on the show. Her only flaw is that she loves Jimmy, and I feel like that's what brings out the con woman in her.
Yeah,
because she wouldn't be doing that otherwise.
Because part of her could be doing this to protect, because she loves Jimmy. Like, because remember there's a scene where they're in bed and she says, "Make sure because Chuck would catch you. Make sure." She subtly says, "Hey, make sure everything is covered up." Now, I didn't know if maybe she just did it because she cares about him or because she's now involved.
I think that it's a little bit of both, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right on both. You hit it on the nail on the head right there. It's because she loves him and also it's like, hey, man, I need Mesa Verde and I need you to cover this up.
And not only that, but it's like they will see it as they conspired to do this. And then she'll be screwed.
How do you split them apart from that? It's so hard.
He may end up taking the bullet when this all goes.
Oh, he's totally going to take the bullet.
But you never know. She might also get in trouble and be like, I want nothing to do with you.
I think that's where the relationship ends because when you look at when he becomes Saul Goodman, his spot is in a mini mall, like strip mall area where and it's nowhere close to Chuck, or because you don't get any whiffs of family around Saul.
In Breaking Bad. When you saw Goodman, he's pretty much. Well, I mean, he is Saul. That's his personality.
Saul is Slippin' Jimmy.
Yeah.
And it's who he wants to be 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And so, now that we're just talking about this, I think he does become Saul next season, and hopefully we see some Bill Burr action.
Maybe.
We see some...
Heel?
Yeah. I would like to see them come back.
Because finally gets a receptionist?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It just... To see those... What's cool about this show is they bring Easter eggs into the show, and it's not corny. Like it's very smartly placed, very subtle, and it really rewards you for being a Breaking Bad fan. But you definitely didn't have to watch Breaking Bad to enjoy this show.
No, it's honestly it's a completely different show. It has the same kind of like taste to it, but it's like a totally different show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really glad they went this direction opposed to the sitcom direction that I heard they might have chosen.
Yeah.
In the early talkings of it.
Yeah, well, I think not so much sitcom as it was going to be a little lighter. A little bit lighter. I wonder if maybe they decided to add in Mike and kind of make it a little more darker. Yeah. And then Jimmy's kind of a dark character himself, so.
Jimmy, and it's funny because they rely on Jimmy for a lot of the humor, and he's just funny enough to kind of counterbalance everything.
Yeah.
And, like you just said, he's a pretty dark character himself.
Yeah.
But he's funny enough to get us through some moments, you know?
And we already know how it's going to end up, so he's also a very tragic character as well.
Yes.
Like, we already know what's going to happen to him. It's not going to end up well.
We'll probably get some more glimpses of that next season.
Well, I think that you were telling me that they want, when we talked about Better Call Saul before, I think you were saying something, they want to wrap up that, black and white
they were thinking
Cinnabon Jimmy world.
Yeah, thinking about either trying to put like a nice bow to his story, whether it's tragic or lighthearted. Where
I was hoping we'd get some kind of resolution
because they keep showing a little bit more and more. So I'm hoping maybe that's where it ends, or like that's how the series will end. It'll cut back to that.
I'm curious to how they would end it.
Is it gonna be the Breaking Bad kind of way? How they have the beginning kind of show it a little piece by piece, and then you have a full episode to end it.
Yeah,
because I think that's the way. I think that's the cool way because it worked out in Breaking Bad.
I think the last episode will be probably entirely based in that black and white world.
Like the present.
That would be
because that's like present.
But I'm wondering who could be what could be the conflict at that point? He's already lost everything. Everybody's dead that would want him, as far as we know. Anyways, the Nazis guys are dead. Walter's dead. So I'm wondering what could even be the dilemma. Just his life being shitty. An hour of his life just being shitty.
I'm guessing there would be like a trail linking him to Walter's money laundering and all that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He'll definitely be under some legal trouble there.
Just something. Who knows? But if anyone can figure it out, isn't it Vince Gilligan?
Yeah, exactly.
He probably hasn't even thought of it yet. They're probably just like...
Actually, on Talking Saul, they were talking about it. He says the beauty of the Breaking Bad writing process and something that they made sure they brought over to the Better Call Saul process is they don't know exactly where this is going. And they say that the stress and all that stuff that takes years off their lives actually creates a better writing room and is able to create these wonderful storylines.
Which is really funny about that because, on the internet, everyone is obsessed with the foreshadowing. But really, there's probably no foreshadowing because they haven't even thought of it yet. So you find yourself really digging into...
What's really funny is their writing process is the typical procrastinating college student.
It is.
Yeah, let's wait to the last minute and just we'll bust something out.
It's gold. Hey, and it works for South Park, right?
It works great. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it can be done. But yeah.
So what do you guys think of Mike this season? We haven't even talked about Mike.
Mike's conflict was great this season. We see him we see where his roots are getting set. He's got a common enemy with Hector Salamanca.
Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, I thought for sure he was blasting Hector through Nacho just to get him paralyzed.
I thought so too. I thought when he had the sniper on him that he was going to shoot him right there.
I like that he didn't kill Nacho. Showing that he's a calculated killer, not a stone cold killer.
But see, right now, is he even a killer? Okay, I know he killed those cops that set up his son. But I feel like that's the only thing that I'm kind of confused about is he's just not killing anybody. For some reason, he's very for example, in Breaking Bad, he gives Walter a speech saying no half measures. Don't, you know what I mean? He says you should kill people. And then when they go on the heist, he even makes a point of saying you cannot do these things and leave witnesses or leave survivors. But in this, in the show, he's very like hesitant to pull the trigger.
So there's got to be a turning point at a certain point. It seems because he's gonna mess up somehow and get himself out of that situation. And after I realize I can't jeopardize my family at all. Yeah. Blah blah blah.
Well, according to Breaking Bad, that turning point is remember he tells that story of how that guy was beating his wife. Yeah. And he said, "Hey, next time I'm gonna kill you," and he didn't kill him. So then he killed the wife. Remember?
He talks to Walter.
So I'm wondering, why isn't he not pulling the trigger on any of these people? Like the truck driver, for example. The people who broke into his house.
I think the truck driver partly was to send a message more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I could see why he didn't kill him. Which talk about that scene. That was freaking bitching.
Oh, with the hose?
Yeah, the hose.
Yeah, that was cool.
Even Nacho was like, no one could have done that by himself, especially you.
Yeah.
It's like, he did it.
But, what was it? What other points were
the guys breaking into his house.
Remember those guys were in his house? They broke in his house?
I think that's the same thing. Just send a message like, look, I'm obviously way too good for you guys to just kill. Mm-hmm. Go tell your boss, like, we need to talk this out.
Yeah, so it has to be message sending. But with the people in his house, I could see him. He should have killed them. Mm-hmm. It's a house.
They're in your house, man.
Dude, Mike could have,
and he had no problem killing those cops.
He also killed his son, and that's another thing they talked about on Talking Saul. But it was really funny when they talked to the actor Jonathan Banks. He says, "Thank God these guys are writing the script because I would have had Mike on a killing spree by now." He said that he loves being Mike and killing people. Like he says, he just digs it. So
I remember
much.
He had an interview on the end of towards the end of Breaking Bad. They were starting to do the Talking Dead stuff afterwards, and he just seemed really attached to the character. It almost seemed kind of awkward. It was almost kind of awkward interview because he was so stern and just very Mike-esque, you know. He was not having any jokes. But he's very attached to that character. And he plays him very well.
Yeah, and his story had a really good final moment there where he's still planning to take the shot, but then someone messed with the horn on the
That was a crazy scene. Who was that, Nacho?
It had to have been Gus, right?
Gus.
Nacho was Gus. I didn't even think of that. Why was it Gus?
Because I think Gus wants to take care of Hector himself. Because remember...
Wow, I didn't even. How did you guys think it was Gus? Just out of curiosity, because I didn't even.
Because Nacho was with.
That's
Hector.
right. He was with
Hector.
And then who else would have been able to get to Mike and know what's really going on in that situation? Because Mike is doing all this shit very secretly undercover.
Yeah, who else was that clever?
Gus is the only person that can be a few steps ahead of everything.
True. Maybe you must have been Gus because I can't.
And then a fun fact that they talked about on Talking Saul that Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould said that there was a message in the titles of every episode.
Oh, that's cool.
And of course someone figured it out really quickly that if you rearrange the letters of the first letter of every episode, it spells Fringsback.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I guess it was him.
I would never...
I'm actually going to I have a picture of it somewhere on my computer, so I'm going to put that up. So that way people understand.
Yeah.
Really cool. I was like,
I would never have gone to that lengths to find things out.
I didn't even think
people do it.
It's just, I've always been hungry for Gus to be into this show.
So he apparently he petitioned real hard to get into the show.
Really? Did he?
He was super really gunning hard to get in the show.
He must have, because I saw him on Once Upon a Time, and if anyone watches that show, it's horrible. So
is it bad? My mom liked it. I don't know if she still watches it. But...
No bad talking. OUAT.
But yeah, because what a great character Gus was.
Oh yeah, he was nominated with Aaron Paul for Best Supporting Actor that year.
Ian was the one that told me that he wasn't even supposed to be a character on Breaking Bad. It wasn't until Tuco's contract was kind of messed up.
Oh, because they wanted Tuco to be the bad guy
throughout all of Breaking Bad.
So there'd be no Gus.
Yeah. But he had a contract with the TNT show, The Closer.
And the writer's strike happened, so it was a big mess.
I thought, wasn't it the uncle? Wasn't it Hector that they were trying to make the bad guy?
Oh, I always wanted.
I thought they wanted
to be family.
They wanted to be Tuco. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they said that Vince Gilligan saw Tuco as this crazy, unpredictable bad guy, and he wanted Gus to be the exact opposite.
Yeah, because that was really the only way you could have Walter have a compatible opponent. You know what I mean? Besides, obviously, the final guy was Hank or the Nazis, but to really effectively have somebody compete against Walter, it had to be somebody just like him.
Yeah.
So that's cool. He's coming back for the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Who else could have really kept an eye on Mike?
And it was so neat. Like, the lettering was so neat, you know?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that, because I didn't even, think that it was Gus. I didn't even...
There's someone at least it was Gus's move, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I think I know I keep on bringing this back to Breaking Bad, and Ian just brought it back to Saul. But it's just his rivalry with Hector and how he killed his lover, or at least that was the rumor.
That was the rumor
that it was his lover, and he hated Hector and wanted to kill him. So he probably wanted to take care of Hector himself. Mm-hmm. And then he also sees... Oh, Hector takes care of it.
But, okay, Hector takes care of it. I was like, yeah, Hector takes care of it.
He only takes care of it because Gus is
there.
So Gus is there.
What the hell's going on?
I'm doing the Gus. He was doing the...
Charlie Brown?
Yeah, Charlie Brown.
But yeah, how do you feel about... I like Hector on Better Call Saul.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. He's
I like seeing him walking around and being pissed off.
He was really mute in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Up until like a couple of years ago, I thought he was really like that. I was like, wow, what a good actor.
Well, what's his name? Walter Jr. really had a disease that made him walk.
Not
true. Completely. It wasn't.
At first, you're like, man, this kid's a method actor. This is insane. No. But he's not really that handicapped.
Yeah, it's not severe.
And he doesn't like breakfast as much.
But he likes DJing.
Breakfast Jr.
Breakfast.
You know who else? Not to bring this up again. You know who else DJs?
Hodor from Game of Thrones.
Hodor.
I think we're on a really good streak of mentioning Game of Thrones.
We are. We're all very fucking excited.
Welcome back to the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm your host, knows nothing, Jon Snow.
Okay, so back to Better Call Saul. Oh, you know what I was wondering too?
Thanks for roping us back in.
There's a very weird thing going on with Saul and his daughter-in-law. Was she faking the house being shot?
She did.
Yeah, but then why was it...
She's taking advantage of a dirty cop, I feel.
That's what I thought too, but then they give these kind of sentimental scenes between them. It's weird. I don't really know what to make of it.
She knows that Mike will do anything for her.
That's what I figured.
And she's taking
advantage. But the way they're I don't know, so there were some scenes that were really well, don't worry about it, Mike. I don't know, I guess he's getting played.
I think he knows he's getting played too.
Oh, he does.
And he just loves that family too much.
He loves his granddaughter.
He loves his granddaughter. I think he still loves her too.
I feel like he does too.
I think that he understands, hey, I kind of got my son killed. Mm-hmm. It was my fault, and that was her husband. Mm-hmm. And I do need to take care of her because, one, I love my son who loved her, and I just need to take care of that family. Yeah. But she is totally playing into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it sucks because it's damn, dude, this dude's willing to do anything for you. And you're totally taking advantage of him, and you're actually kind of turning him into this killer because he needs to be doing this illegal shit to pay for these houses that you want.
That's very true.
And that's how he's gonna start working for Gus and get making the big.
It looks like she's okay with that dirty money now. She was not okay with it at the beginning.
In season 1 she wasn't, huh?
She didn't want to spend it.
That's right.
And then he said, "That's your money," and now the dirty money just keeps on coming in and in and in and in.
But she doesn't know that now, so it's okay.
She doesn't know? She has to know, right? How's this guy working at a parking lot?
She did. It's one of those things where you know, but you don't.
Just don't say nothing.
Now you know.
So, but with this season's a really good season 2, and I think that it's taking with the Breaking Bad trajectory, because season 1 with Breaking Bad was considered slow by some people. But I thought it was really good, and then season 2 kind of took a step up, and I feel 3, and it kept on going up. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're taking big steps with how fast they're moving. Because the first season was very, it was more dialogue driven and stuff like that. Not many big time things were happening.
Well, I think it was a build-up season.
It was. Yeah. It was a complete build-up season, which I still love.
There's still a lot of mystery with everything.
It's definitely, hey, this is the first time we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Let's feel it out, see what works and what doesn't work, and then we only go up.
Because think about how different season 1 was. There was that storyline with the camping, where the guy was hiding his money in the woods. Mm-hmm. It feels like a completely different movie or show, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot. There's actually an actual legal.
Yeah, and it feels like a completely different show. When you think about it.
I kind of thought we were gonna see more Saul, Mike, buddy cop moments. You know how
we haven't seen too much of it really.
I think Bob Odenkirk says that's what he wants more of.
And I hope so too, because they work really well together.
Well, he's about to lose everything pretty soon, so Michael show up soon, right?
Exactly.
They'll be hanging out.
Yeah. How do you like Jimmy McGill as Saul his Saul commercial.
I love that.
I loved it, man.
Give me Jimmy.
Yeah, that was a really good commercial.
I was hoping, I was ready for that build up, them filming all those different sequences, and then it's just there it is.
Again, roping the comedy into the show.
Yeah.
It's very effective.
And what's interesting, too, is he did the illegal thing for Kim. So, obviously, when I try to solve these problems, it means there's going to be no TV show. But, so if Kim keeps Mesa Verde, he looks like he's just going to be happy working with elderly customers, and he's not really going to have to do that much slipping Jimmy shit. Yeah. Other than maybe sneaking onto the occasional school playground to film his scene or something.
So you're saying that if this Chuck thing didn't happen, he probably would have been content just doing what he's doing?
Yeah, and because the thing he did against Chuck was a horrible offense. Uh-huh. And I don't see him having to dig that deep. I mean, I guess when you're a person like that, you're eventually going to find yourself in a heap of trouble. But I feel like he could have gone away doing small slipping Jimmy stuff that he knew he can get away with.
Know, if he didn't admit, because the last scene of the season finale is he admits to Chuck to make him feel better about that he did rig the numbers and he was recording the whole time. If he didn't say that, I completely agree. I think he would have been... He had Kim... Chuck was indifferent to him, I guess, and then he could have kept doing his lawyer things. Yeah. He likes the old people, I guess. I mean,
and Chuck's really shaping up to be, I think what they're doing now is just Chuck's going to be the main villain of the show. He's the Gus. Mm. He's the guy that goes toe-to-toe
with Jimmy.
With Jimmy, and he's got to, in the end, Jimmy's going to have to figure out a way to get rid of him.
Yeah. I thought Chuck was going to die. I thought when he hit his head, that was it. I thought it was a wrap.
I was thinking that too, but then as it was kind of going on, I'm like, no, they realize Chuck is Jimmy's main villain. Mm-hmm. He's the big obstacle that in his way. So to get rid of him really that quick would have been a waste.
How'd you guys like Ernie sticking up for Jimmy?
Yeah,
I liked that. I think it shows like what I was talking about earlier, that he's such a nice guy and people like him so much that they're willing to lie for him.
Yeah, and with one thing I thought too was in that situation, Ernie has had a lot of time with Jimmy because he worked in the mailroom. And then he also has worked for Chuck for a long time. So he knows Chuck is kind of a weird guy, but he's also really good to him. So when in that situation, when he kind of chooses Jimmy's side, it makes you feel better about being on Jimmy's side because Ernie is choosing who he feels like has the better heart in the situation.
Yeah. I think also what had to do with his decision to lie for him is Saul could have just could not have gone in that copy room. He could have just waited back and been like, okay, they'll be fine. But the fact that he ran in and gave himself up, basically, he was like, man, this guy.
He loves his brother.
Yeah,
no matter what's going on, he loves his brother, and that's what fucking it just twists me up.
Yeah, a lot of the tragedy.
Chuck won't show reciprocal love towards Jimmy, because every time he talks to Jimmy and he says, I would do this for you. It's like, I don't know if he would.
Chuck?
Yeah, I don't know if
Jimmy he wouldn't.
If Chuck would ever do anything that would be risking his livelihood.
He
doesn't like Jimmy as a person. He just doesn't like him.
Yeah,
he blatantly does not like him.
I think you really get a good glimpse of that in the last part of that in the episode where Chuck's like, it was you don't understand how painful it is to be stabbed in the back by your brother when you would do something like that, and it's like you did it to him.
Yeah, I know the same thing.
Put the shoe on the other foot there, Chuck, and you realize you're a piece of shit.
He doesn't like him. He's bitter with him. Remember, I think they even have a scene where it's Chuck and his wife when he had his wife, and they're all at dinner. And Jimmy's very funny, very and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that.
And his wife shows an affinity for Jimmy, she's like,
because he keeps on doing
the
ear thing.
He doesn't.
He keeps on doing it.
Yeah, he doesn't like him. He's jealous of just the things he has. In addition to I'm not just painting Chuck as this real just son of a bitch. In addition to into him stealing the money, fucking around when he's younger. He didn't need to be doing that. He probably did cause a lot of grief in his parents' household, and Chuck probably did see that and was like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Because imagine you have your parents and they're always pulling their hair out because your younger brother's a fucking jackass. You know what I mean? It does rub you the wrong way.
He still gets all the love.
Yeah, it does rub you the wrong way. Now, does he need to try and send him to prison? Absolutely not. There's no reason for that.
Well, so Chuck takes Jimmy out of jail, gives him this job in the mailroom, and Jimmy makes something of himself. Yeah. And instead of seeing that he allowed his brother to create himself anew and become this great person. He sees him as a monkey with a nuclear launch pad that can just destroy so much. And that's what kills me, because with my brothers, like, I would never see that in them. I would see them as a positive thing, no matter how bad of piece of shits they could be.
That's like how it should be with family.
In rebuttal, though, was Chuck entirely wrong? He does become Saul Goodman.
But I also, but with the fact that I think what we were talking about earlier is I think that he made him Saul Goodman. I think that he might have done a lot of he could have done sketchy things, I believe. But I believe that if he was supportive and Chuck like gave him the tools to become a great lawyer and become not dirty, that he would have become he would have been straight. He wanted his brother's love and approval.
Had he let him in his good graces, he may not have gone down the path he went down.
I think so.
Which kind of what Kim said that too. Remember, she rips him a new one.
She does. That was a really good.
Yeah, everybody was. I'm sure applauding at that, but she really ripped him a new one, saying basically exactly that. Like, it's your fault. You created this monkey with a nuclear weapon. Like, this is your fault.
I love that. Is that you guys are talking about when he tells them about Mesa Verde, right?
Yeah, he tells them, and then she's like,
she just burns them, and then she goes into the car and just starts wailing on Saul.
She knows it was him.
And that's why it was great, because it's like, God damn it! Like, why do you have to do this shit? Like, I'm telling you to stick your nose out of my business. Like, I love you, and like, things are gonna be okay. Like, I know it sucks, but it's great how frustrating. Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe she'll get pushed to the limit that Chuck was pushed. Because you have to think that maybe Chuck didn't always resent Jimmy so much. He probably did a little bit, but just it kept building and building until you're like you just said, like, why the fuck you keep doing this?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, just stop.
So, like, in the same respect I just said I would never feel that about my brothers, like, it's just like I never got to such a frustrating level with you guys, and so...
I think just, well, then again, we're not all in a situation where, like, we have siblings that are doing illegal, like, really, like, just...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Making a mockery out of your career. Maybe that's kind of what it is, too. I think he's taking the piss out of it.
Yeah, because that's what when he blows up at the end of season 1, he goes, like, I worked so hard, and you get this out of some limp dick college. And
does he say limp dick?
He doesn't say limp dick. Chuck is way too fancy to say limp dick. But
that was the first draft they wrote out. Like, in this limp dick college.
Never mind. But
and then another writer was like, Chuck wouldn't say that. You're right.
No, but see, like, Chuck went to, like, that fancy college.
Yeah.
And he sees, and now if Jimmy becomes this lawyer, he's seen as an equal if he gets hired at HHM.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying about, like, he's kind of jealous of him. He holds a lot of, like, jealousy towards him because he's so charming, and he makes it all work out.
I don't know if you could say that, though, that he's had, like, an easier path. Because like Chuck can say that Jimmy's path has been, like, easier as far as, like, becoming a lawyer is concerned. Like, sure, he did it, like, through alternative means, but I feel like it's still hard work to even figure out that kind of loophole to do all that. That takes its own skill on its own. I think that's what Chuck sees it as something easy, but Jimmy actually had to be like a genius, like an evil genius.
Well, it's probably even more frustrating that he's using his power for evil. That he's just strictly not trying to do it the right way.
Well, I feel like it's tough because I just see, like, it just shows me, like, just being on Jimmy's side and everything, but he worked hard working in the mailroom at the same time getting his degree to become a lawyer. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he could have been straight, but...
Well, Chuck probably didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's... I just wish he had more faith in his brother, but then I'm glad he didn't, so we can have Better Call Saul.
That's a very good point. But there was, for a while in this show, and it wasn't... I think I said this before... And it wasn't a bad thing, but I really, like, didn't know where anything was going. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like just watching, like, like, just fun characters talk. Mm-hmm. Which was fine with me. But I didn't really know where... I was like, I wonder where any of this is going at all.
Yeah, it kind of just... Once you see one block, it's like, okay, I kind of see it there. And then as it keeps going on, it's like, oh, okay.
You maybe don't get away with that if you didn't have Breaking Bad before.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Because you knew Saul could be a good character by himself.
I wonder what this show would be like. We'll never know, but I wonder what, like, a viewer who hadn't seen Breaking Bad would think of this show.
Yeah, because, like, we keep on saying, we've said it multiple times, is this show could stand alone.
It does. I think it's very much stands alone. Like, I may not have watched it because I don't know if I'd be interested. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe the story would interest me. But once I start hearing people say like, oh, it's a really good show, it's really good, then I'd probably check it out.
Yeah.
And then when the sequel was Breaking Bad, I'd be like, whoa, this is a totally different show.
So it would be like watching the prequels.
And somehow the sequel's way better.
Yeah, it's watching the George Lucas prequels to the old school trilogy.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Although this is much better than the George Lucas prequels.
It's a little more effort in this. A little more effort in Saul.
No Jar Jar.
But what's cool about this show too is I know my girlfriend personally felt sick watching Breaking Bad because there's just so much dark elements.
You tell me that.
And this show has its dark elements, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly as dark as...
No.
So you
could... more lighthearted.
This is funny to say. It's more for a wider audience.
It is. It is absolutely for a wider audience just because it's so not... I mean, it is kind of depressing, but it's not as bleak as Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was just teaching you a lesson every week. I always thought of it as like one of those, like, you ever see those like really intense like drug PSAs where like you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen that one where this kid he's like screaming and pounding on the back door and it's like meth, not even once, or some weird those intense things. Breaking Bad felt like a 45-minute thing of those every week, and it was very intense.
And it would just be like, the South Park would be like, I learned something today.
Yeah, it was. The one that reminded me the most of that is when Walter's like half crying, half laughing, half in shock when he's laying in the crawl space.
Yeah.
That always reminded me of like a stay away from drugs, like moral. But anyways, yeah.
That shows Breaking Bad was so much more jumpy. I remember getting a noise complaint when I lived in San Francisco. The end of season 3 when Walter comes in and nails those drug dealers with his car and then shoots them and he goes, run. And then I called him afterwards.
I was like, dude, switch.
Jesus.
He still wasn't caught up, I don't think.
I think it was on season 4 at that point.
Yeah, that's the end of season 3.
Yeah, because I'd watched season 1 with my dad, but then I moved. And so I didn't catch up, and then it came to Netflix. So I was like, yes.
Yeah. So it's great that we didn't need a Breaking Bad sequel. I think we were all content with where it ended and stuff, but it's great that we get to still have it alive, but in a totally different
totally new, fresh, exciting, entertaining.
It's not a rehash or just a shitty cash-in. It's good quality television.
It's a well taken care of thing.
Very good quality television.
Definitely.
If OJ didn't come out, I'd say it's probably the best. It was probably the best show of like this last run.
Do you think OJ's better than this season?
I do too. I do think OJ's better.
I should finish it.
OJ was great.
And that's not even like...
That's nothing against...
Absolutely nothing against Saul. Saul's pretty much just perfect, but OJ is...
Well, the thing about Saul, too, is it's getting better. You see it moving up and up with the storyline getting more well-rounded. Mm-hmm. Like you said, they got it so wide. Now it's starting to round itself out. You see where it's kind of going. Not quite, but it's getting more. So.
I'm even thinking back. Do you guys remember when you first watched Saul and like... He's walking into that, it's Chuck's house, but you're like, what the fuck is he doing? He's walking that dark room, there's some guy all huddled in his, like, potato thing, and you're just like, what is this?
And like, you
Chuck the baked potato.
You kind of didn't know if it was going to be as dark, because you see things like, he's working with these skateboarding kids, trying to scam people.
But then it gets really dark when Tuco abducts him.
Right. And that even proves your point. This show it's only been, like, 2 seasons, and this show has changed dramatically. Like, it's gone all over the place.
Because it still kind of had that season 1 feel at the beginning of the season with that bald guy who's a drug dealer riding that big ass Hummer.
Oh yeah, him, yeah.
Wait, the nerd guy?
Yeah, the guy had the baseball cards.
Yeah.
The baseball cards. It still had that season 1 kind of feel with that.
Whatever happened to that guy? I thought they were leading up to him getting caught by the cops.
He did. He was like
about he said he filmed that when he's sitting on a pie or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they're eating the extra pie.
Oh man, it's so funny. I forgot all about that.
And see, that's what's going to be fun if they go purely more into Saul Goodman. Is we're going to get more of those moments, too, because I loved the moments where he was defending these clients and, like, getting them out.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely get a lot of those.
Yeah, because that was the thing. You need to get him out of elder law because that's so boring. It's hilarious, but when he's defending these criminals, it's hilarious. Yeah. I love it.
I love that scene. And we've all did customer service, and that old guy's just moving very slowly. They put on his glasses. Getting his cane, so I was like, "Yep, all right." You know what I'm talking about?
In the last episode, and he goes, "Those look mighty sharp."
Yeah. And we've all been like a cash register when that's happening.
Yeah, my God.
Better Call Saul. That was a very good ending. Very good ending to the show. Very good show. Well, it's not over yet. How many more seasons do you think we got? 2? I think they'll do about 2 more seasons.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't see it going longer than Breaking Bad did.
Yeah, I could see it going as long as Breaking Bad. Maybe 5, but probably 4.
Did they do 5? Did they do that shitty ass split in half?
Oh yeah, it's 5 seasons. It's not 6 seasons.
5A and 5B.
All right, okay, not to bring it all the way back up again, but not this next season, but the next season. You know what Game of Thrones is doing? That bullshit. That 6 episodes and then take a year off. 6 episodes. I fucking hate that. Drives me up the wall. Not. I know Walking Dead flutes that.
Oh, a lot of AMC shows now just flute that, except for Better Call Saul.
You can probably thank Harry Potter for that.
Was it Harry Potter? I always thought it was
Harry Potter was the first one where it was like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
Was that unnecessary? I didn't read the Harry Potter book.
I didn't give a shit.
I think if you maybe it wasn't necessary, but it
kind of sucks.
It was alright.
Okay,
the one that really didn't need it was Hunger Games.
It is unnecessary. No,
definitely didn't need 2 parts.
It is unnecessary because why did none of the other fucking books get 2 parts? It's okay.
Twilight too. Twilight didn't need 2 last movies.
Yeah, neither did Harry Potter. Yeah, fuck off, Harry Potter.
And Lord of the Rings didn't even get a
yeah, because
the Hobbit did. Because the Hobbit did. That's right. They wanted him to make 3 movies, and he was like, "Man, I was going to make 1. You want me to really stretch this shit?"
No. And then they split like I think it was 2.
And then like telling me there was 4 Hobbit movies.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Fuck you, England.
It's a Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, Hobbit, Desolation of Smog, then Hobbit.
You're the problem. You're going to all these movies. You're making it profitable to make 3
They're making them. I got to see them.
There you go. Me and Ian didn't.
I stopped to Return of the King.
I want to see Bilbo. I want to see Bilbo fight.
I just didn't really care for some reason about the Hobbit.
And the whole
thing. It was good. The last movie is definitely a.
I'm a dwarf and I'm drunk, but we can't be drunk.
No, but the last Hobbit movie was definitely like they made the first 2, and then the third one was like, we got anything else? And it's like,
yeah,
we kind of did it 2 movies. Oh, you're right. We gotta make this stretch a little bit. Sure. What's even funnier about it is the beginning of the third Hobbit movie could, like, the first, maybe half hour, 15 minutes. That first chunk of the movie could be just cut off and put at the end of the second movie, and that could have felt so much more complete.
I feel like that about Batman vs Superman. And it was a lot out of that movie.
Didn't feel about that about Better Call Saul.
No, we did
Great
not.
Season 2.
Yes, it was.
I'm sad Affleck about Batman vs Superman.
Did you hear they're gonna release Joker's name? In the movie?
Watch him just be like, my name is Bill Smith.
That'd be really funny. But like, who cares? Does anyone care about Joker's real name?
What?
Does it help with his character?
I don't know. Jared Leto's Joker.
Did you know they actually there's a comic where Batman finds out the Joker's real name. They don't tell you what it is. So Batman sits in I didn't read the comic. It's Batman sits in this chair of like knowledge where he can ask pretty much.
Chair of knowledge.
It's like he could ask. I want to say it's a chair of knowledge. He talks to some sort of power that he could ask it anything, and it'll tell him the answer. And it's like, okay, who killed my parent? No, isn't Cerebro just finds mutants?
Well, Batman has his chair of knowledge. That far off.
So he's just like, who killed my parents? And then they tell him like, oh, this guy Joe Chill killed your parents. That's like the comically canon guy who killed.
Yeah, and they call him Joe Schmo.
No, Joe Chill.
Some asshole, you don't care.
That's the Joker's name right there, Joe Schmo.
But then in the comic, he asks who killed his parents, and they're like, it tells him Joe Chill. Middle name has no Chill, and then he goes, well, what's the Joker's real name?
Schwarzenegger has no chill.
And then it cuts, and then he asks the chair, what's the Joker's real name is, and the chair doesn't say who it is. It's like one of those things where Batman hears who it is, but the audience doesn't, and Batman's just like, no, it can't be.
Oh God, that sounds really bad.
So it's like, we don't know.
Maybe they'll
actually say.
Well, now we've gone way off track.
Yep, Better Call Saul finale, season 2.
That's very good.
Definitely great. Fring is back.
Put up that picture.
I'll put it up here.
You put it up back there.
I'll put it up back there. Yeah. Don't ignore that point. But yeah, definitely want to check it out. And thanks for joining us. And we will catch you next time, where we'll most likely talk about Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
finally.
Maybe Vinyl.
No, Matt doesn't like vinyl.
I haven't watched it.
It's really good.
You haven't watched it because you don't.
Well, you don't worry, you're not alone. No one fucking likes it.
We didn't watch The Hobbit. You didn't watch vinyl.
Yeah.
Is it the trade-off?
That's the
trade-off.
We signed this agreement down the line.
That's a trade-off.
All right, so Ian's walking off, and that is
I'll
the
get
end.
something to drink.
We will catch you later.